Hi guys, it's me Random TJ. So today we'll be doing some fun projects or some scientific projects with fidget spinners. So as we all know that when a fidget spinner spins, these bearings, these masses acting on the circumference of the fidget spinner try to shoot outwards due to centrifugal force. So we are going to use the help of this centrifugal force to do some science projects. So the first one is a self-balancing pencil. So for that you can either use a pencil or a pen. So this is the pencil, and then you take some kind of labels or tapes, anything like that. I'm using this thing. Stick it around the pencil. This is just to increase the thickness of the pencil just a little bit. Then we need to take the cap off of the ball bearing, sorry, of the fidget spinner. Okay, so put this fidget spinner, the bearing of the fidget spinner inside this pencil like this. Okay, so there is a tight fit now. So what you need to do is that take this fidget spinner, give it a spin, and keep it. It will self balance itself. If you use a better fidget spinner that is a bit more costly and the fidget spinner is balanced, then it will stay like this. In my case, this is a very cheap fidget spinner, so it is kind of tumbling. Actually, if you place it like this, it's never going to balance itself. It is always going to fall down because the point of contact of the pencil and the base is so tiny that it is almost impossible to find the center of gravity. So what it does is that the centrifugal force acting along the x-axis now tries to balance it. The centrifugal force kind of acts like a string holding it, pulling it from the 360-degree angle from all the sides, and that creates an imaginary axis that actually balance the pencil like this. Okay, that's how it works. So this was the first uh, centric project. Now let's move on to the second one. So for the second one, we need a CD, double-sided tape, and scissors. So from this, cut out a small portion of the tape, then place it on the CD like this. Okay, put the upper layer off. Then take one of those caps and place it right at the center of the CD like this. Okay, so this is the center of the CD. Place it like here. Now what we need to do is that fix the fidget spinner and then try to balance it. Now see, if we take this CD and try to balance it, it's almost impossible to balance it because again the point of contact of the CD with the base is so tiny that it is almost impossible to find the center of gravity. Okay, so now what we'll do is spin this fidget spinner. In this case, this centrifugal force will act along the y-axis, and again there will be an imaginary line of action of force pulling the fidget spinner on the along the y-axis, and it will prevent the gravity to tilt it on either of the sides. It will just help it to maintain a balance right here. So let me spin it. See, it's balancing itself. Let me give it a better spin. See how it's balancing itself. It is spinning because of the vibration that is created by the friction of the ball bearing. The friction of the ball bearing actually uh, puts the CD to rotate also, and that is why the CD starts to spin like this. So again, if we use a better fidget spinner, then it will work a bit better. I mean, it will stay for a longer amount of time because in this case it is coming to rest after some 30 or 40 seconds. In that case, it will stay for a longer amount of time. Now I have an idea that is, as I said, that for these cheap fidget spinners, actually after some time the fidget spinner is coming into rest and the seed is falling down because there is no more the centrifugal action of force acting on it. So what we can do is that instead of the fidget spinner, we can um, place a motor, something like that. In that case, then there will be no problem of the CD coming of the fidget spinner coming to rest, and we can also control the speed. We can turn it off and on, and it will stay for a longer amount of time, and also we can balance it. So let me do that. Okay, so what I've done is that I've used a uh, better fidget spinner. I mean, this fidget spinner is much more balanced. It is a bit costlier than the previous fidget spinner I showed you. I used a CD, and what I did is that I made a on and off system with the battery. Okay, so this is the back view of the CD. Let me turn on the light. Okay. So as you can see there is a battery pack, there's a motor and a toggle switch. So what we can do is that use this thing to act as a self-balancing fidget spinner. Okay, so let me do it on the floor. There is much more space here. Okay, so this is the CD. I brought it to the ground because there is a lot more space here. On the table it was kind of falling off from the edge. So let me turn it on. Here you can see it's spinning. Now when it attains the maximum velocity, I will put it on the ground. There's nothing kind of strings or anything that is holding the CD upwards. It's just the gyroscopic motion. Even if you hit the CD, it is trying to balance itself. Okay, so let's turn it off.